Yeah.
I was talking trash when I had the conference, chief conference, and there's like what, 90 chiefs in Arizona. There's only chief,
Yeah, there you go.
Like, who the hell
Good.
are you? And I was like, a small town chief.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
I don't know. Anytime I can beat the Maricopa County chiefs, I love it.
Oh. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, well, you know, man.
And a big shift from what was newsworthy regarding security. This was broken up that long ago. So that's huge. It's really good for us. Really good.
Year and a half. But, you know,
Bruce Armitage.
Hello, Councilmember Armitage.
Good evening, Mayor.
Very, very graceful way to, but yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm just glad, just happy to bring it for town. Really needed, it's going to go to the town.
Yeah, I feel like it's a win for us,
It is.
It's a huge win for you personally and for us.
So long time I kind of live in, most chiefs won't say it.
What's that, 90 Chiefs? I mean,
So I got it in a year and a half. I'm a new chief. Year and a half.
Well, you had to work out for you.
Oh, yeah, they're going, ACOG, if they're going to supposed to be chief of police, they're going to buy you, and they watch. It's all chiefs, and you get that in the Hawks, in the communities, and they watch, they see how you're doing and stuff, and you feel nice, and you start feeling the food, and I know they're going to get
Michael Alonso.
embarrassed. So the band, I guess,
Hello, Vice Mayor. Welcome back.
Hello.
Yeah, so they're watching.
Glad to be back.
Watching,
Hello, Michael.
yeah. When they popped up, I was like,
Hey, Bruce, how you
It was a
doing?
pleasant surprise.
I'm
It
good.
was. It was, and
Lovely hearing your voice.
The only one, I was just,
Lovely to be heard.
the chowder chief was sitting in front of me, and he's a little, he's a little.
Lana Clark is here.
Like, hey, bro, you'll never get it.
Hi, Lana.
And he doesn't really know me, he's like, okay.
Do you have who's the here?
Like, they don't have a good.
Ruby?
Ruby is putting something in the Dropbox. She's in her office right now. So you're on the, but you're fine.
Well,
I'm trying to get Camel. Is the Camel hasn't started yet?
It's on YouTube. Arlene she just turned it on. It's live now.
Oh, okay.
So you can watch from there.
Mhm.
well,
All right. It is 7 o'clock. I think everybody's in here that needs to be here. I'm going to call the meeting to order with a roll call. Councilmember Lopez.
Present.
Councilmember Navarrete.
Present.
Councilmember Armitage.
Here.
Councilmember Estatico.
Here.
Councilmember Aguilar. And Vice Mayor Alonso.
Here.
All right. Please let the record know that we do have a quorum. Councilmember Aguilar may be a little bit late, but he is excused in the event that he doesn't make it. If everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation and remain standing for a moment of silence in the honor of Tim Knavel, our Pinal County and Economic Development Director who passed away due to COVID complications. It's a very sad, big loss for our county. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we invite you to come and to lead us in our meeting tonight. We ask, Lord, that you would give us wisdom, discernment, understanding, and Lord, that this meeting would go well, and Lord, that it would bring you honor and glory. We also ask that you would bring healing to the town of Superior. Lord, we ask for healing for those that have COVID-19. We ask for healing for all types of cancer in our town. We ask for healing for diabetes, and Lord, any other sicknesses and diseases that are afflicting our town. We ask, Lord, we invite you to come and make a difference. And we thank you, Lord, that you love your people, that you love this town. Lord, that this place is special to you, just like it's special to us. We thank you for all that you're doing, and we give you praise and thanksgiving for it. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, everyone. We do have our next agenda item is a very special presentation today, and that's the recognition of Chief Frank Alaniz, selected as the 2021 Arizona Police Chief of the Year by the Arizona Associations of the Chiefs of Police. And we're very, very proud of you, Chief. This is a huge accomplishment. You've done a lot in the last 2 years, and we wanted to give council a chance to congratulate you. And so I will start with Councilmember Lopez.
Well, just want to congratulate Chief Alaniz. You've done a fantastic job. We're fortunate that you came on board when you did, and we wish you well, and we're just excited for the new year to get going.
Councilmember Navarrete.
Congratulations, Chief. I couldn't be more proud to have you on our team, and look forward to the next year, and thank you for your service.
Councilmember Armitage.
Chief Frank, we already talked a little bit on an email. I just want to again express my gratitude for you coming to this town. We know that it was a stretch for you. I just thank you for all the work that you've done. I believe we're at a turning point, and I believe that largely because of the things that you've done, we're in that place right now. So thanks again for being here. We really appreciate you and all the fine work that you've done. And a special thanks also to the men that work for you, because I realize as a manager that it's the people that make you look good, and so thanks to them too.
Vice Mayor Alonso.
Congratulations, Chief. You made us all proud, and I echo what Councilmember Armitage said. You and your staff, they make you look good as well, and you're a great leader in our community. Congratulations.
Councilmember Estatico.
Chief, congratulations. I know we talk to each other, so I can joke around with you. Don't let it go to your head.
And just checking, did Councilmember Aguilar jump on the line? I don't think he did. Chief, once again, we're really proud of you. You were selected out of all the chiefs in Arizona. You've done a tremendous job to help move us in the right direction, and we're very proud of you to have you on our team. I don't know if you did you bring your award in tonight? I guess there's not a whole big audience here to see it. So when we get back to full meetings, we're going to re-celebrate this, and there'll be cupcakes and all that kind of good stuff. So we're really proud of you. Do you have anything you'd like to say about your recognition?
Yeah, it'd make it quick. Yeah, first of all, I really appreciate all the kind words. And the fact of the matter is I didn't do this.
You probably need to speak into the mic, because I can barely hear you, so I don't know if they can hear you.
Yeah, like I said, I like to thank everybody for the kind words. But the truth is the credit really goes to the staff, the town leadership, and the community. Because without those three pieces, none of this would have happened. I think Superior was ready, and you know, the hard work we've all put into this as a team has paid off. To be selected as Chief of Police of the Year out of all the chiefs is an honor. It still hasn't hit me. Feels like a surreal moment, but this job's been surreal because it's something I love. So I feel very lucky. Like when I first came here, I said thank you very much for this opportunity, and I'm glad that you gave that to me. So thank you very much for everything and all your support. And we just got started, so it's only going to get better.
You're welcome, and we're so proud of you and the entire department. So keep up the good work. We really appreciate all that you guys do.
Thank you.
Moving on to staff reports, just some highlights, council, that this week Todd and I both attended a meeting, our community working group meeting and the recreational users group meeting. These meetings were to review the release of the final EIS for Resolution Copper. So far, the things that are coming back where there needs to either be some objection or further comment, is in the planning for the rug. Originally, the groups put together a plan that was submitted to the Tonto for a 51-mile trail system, and the Tonto has come back and reduced it down to about 20.6 miles. There's a lot of discussion going on how to resolve that, maybe come up with some creative solutions to expand those. RUG will be submitting an objection comment letter. CWG will probably follow suit with RUG as well as the Lost Trail. Todd continues to read through the FEIS to see on anything going on. We may need to call a special council meeting should it be determined that we need to issue another letter. An update from the legislature, our blight bill still has not received a committee at this time, where it's highly, it's kind of a guessing game as to see if it will actually be heard by a committee, but it is in process at some level. There was also a bill this week that we were following, and that was to increase fireworks usage to allow aerial fireworks, and I think most of the municipalities have come out to say we don't want to see that happen. I've been in touch with Senator Shope on this, so just keep those two things in mind. Those are some things that we have been dealing with this week. Mr. Pryor, do you have anything new for your staff report?
No, I do not.
And just for everybody's knowledge, Mr. Pryor is on the line with us today, but he is working from home because he's been ill. Going to move on to the consent agenda. Council, if there's anything you'd like to remove from the consent agenda at this time, please let me know. If not, I'm going to ask for approval of the minutes from the special council meeting on January 6th, 2021. Approval of minutes of regular council meeting on January 14th, 2021. Approval of State of Arizona Department of Liquor License and Control application for the Silver King Smokehouse located at 404 West Main Street. The owner is Justin Nichols Evans. And a note to council and staff, Mr. Evans did contact me this afternoon. He wanted to express how excited he is to be in Superior, and their business is really experiencing great success. They had planned to be on the call today, but due to an emergency, they lost a very dear friend of theirs, and they're working on a memorial to him today. It was a shocking loss. They are unable to be here. Item number 4, approval of police department auction list for end of service life equipment. Sierra Auction will handle the sales. Approval of proposal for survey services for Neary, Lobb, and Kellner for future pavement projects. Approval of independent contractor services agreement between the town of Superior and 2K Tree Services. Approval of independent contractor services agreement between the town of Superior and Guzman Family LLC. And the department reports, fire, police, public works, library, senior center, sanitation, and the town engineer. And council, so you're aware, Mr. Guzman is in the audience today. Unless there's any reason to pull anything off the consent agenda, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
This is Bruce. I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as read.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second by Lopez.
Second by Councilmember Lopez. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries. We're going to move on to our new business. Our first agenda item tonight is...
Madam Mayor?
Yes?
Madam Mayor, I apologize. I muted myself. I'm voting no.
You're voting no on the consent agenda?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I need to do a roll call vote then. Councilmember Lopez?
Yes.
Councilmember Navarrete?
Yes.
Councilmember Armitage?
Yes.
Councilmember Estatico?
No.
Vice Mayor Alonso?
Yes.
Councilmember Aguilar, did you jump on? Okay. Let the record show, and I'm an aye, let the record show that the consent agenda was approved with a 6-1 vote. I'm sorry, 5-1. It's not here today. Agenda item A, discussion possible approval of fleet program with Enterprise Fleet Management. Recommendation, staff recommends approving this item. Discussion. This is a program that will decrease costs and lower the age of our fleet by purchasing the vehicles at the state rate and then selling them on the open market before the resale value decreases and before maintenance costs increase. The average vehicle would be kept for 3.5 years. It would take half a dozen years to rotate out our inventory. This would not apply to our heavy equipment or fire trucks. Enterprise is part of the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program, as is the town of Superior. Fiscal impact. The projections provided show a savings of $32,239 in the first year and $190,435 over the next decade. We do have a representative from Enterprise here, Renee, and I will let her give her presentation.
Mayor?
Yes?
I would note that I emailed out her presentation to the council last week, but we didn't get it into the Dropbox, so I just put it into the Dropbox. It's labeled Enterprise Town of Superior.
Okay. Council, if you're looking through your Dropbox, if not, you've already received it in email. So I will turn the floor over to our friends at Enterprise to give us their presentation.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Great. Well, I apologize. I am calling from home, so if you can't hear something or you need to have me repeat something, please feel free and let me know that. But first of all, I just want to start by thanking you. My name is Renee Milam. I'm with Enterprise Fleet Management. I want to thank you for letting me come and present our partnership with you tonight. I also want to thank Todd, especially. He was open-minded enough to actually meet with me, spend some valuable time over the last 2 to 3 months really looking at the program and making sure it was going to be a great fit for the town of Superior. I also want to thank Police Chief Frank and also Transportation Director Manny. They were very instrumental in also getting me all the information I needed in order to put together a recommendation for you guys regarding your fleet and your fleet budget. So thank you so much. And just before we get started, we're going to start with the PDF slides, just to give you a brief overview of what we do. I'm sure most of you are familiar with our sister company, Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Some of you may use the Enterprise Rent-A-Car for personal or business items, but what we do, we actually work with companies and municipalities that have a fleet of 20 or more, and we help them with longer-term fleet solutions. So we're not the rental company, we are an actual fleet management company. So if we want to get started, if you guys would go to the first slide that says current government partners. Can everybody see that slide?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. I really just want to touch on this briefly. We're really proud of this. We've been working with municipalities in Arizona for years. You might recognize some of these partners on this slide, some of them with us for many years, some have just recently joined us. But the main thing is our government, the fastest growing sector of our business is our government clients. And that's because our partnership allows them to keep their staff, their students, their employees in newer, more reliable and safer vehicles for less than what they are currently spending. So my goal is to share with you how we can do that for the town of Superior. So we can go ahead and move to the next slide. All right. Approved cooperative purchasing contracts, she mentioned it. That was great. And so what we had to do is we had to compete to win this national cooperative contract. And we did win. We were awarded it through the National Cooperatives. And basically what it does is it takes care of all the due diligence process, and that allows our government partners to piggyback on this cooperative. And the nice thing is, as she has mentioned, you guys are already a member with Sourcewell. We want to go ahead to the next slide, products and services. So as I mentioned, Enterprise Fleet Management is a full-service fleet management company. We offer a variety of solutions because every client's fleet needs are going to be different. Your guys' is different versus, say the school district of Kingman versus one of our commercial customers. But what we're gonna do for the town of Superior is we're gonna help you acquire vehicles at a very, very low price through the state contract. We're gonna offer flexible funding so that you can replace more vehicles with less capital. We're also going to help utilize our full maintenance program, which is going to give you guys a fixed and budgeted maintenance amount over the next year, so there aren't any surprises when it comes to maintenance on these vehicles. And you're going to be able to support your local communities by doing that as well. And then last but not least, we're going to help you capitalize on the equity in these vehicles through our resale channel. And I want to talk a little bit about that in more detail, and then I'll stop and see if you guys have any questions so far. If you want to go to the next slide where it says vehicle disposal. What a lot of people don't realize is that Enterprise makes 50% of their profits through their own remarketing channels. We sell all of our own vehicles, and we do that for all of our fleet clients. And the nice thing is by doing that, we can help you guys put in place a replacement strategy that will allow you guys to capitalize on thousands of dollars in equity that's going to go right back to you there at the town of Superior. Whether it goes back into your fleet budget or whether you decide to do something else with it, it is yours to do what you wish. Currently, right now, what we're seeing is you have vehicles that are 15 to 20 years old, and you're taking them to the surplus or the auction, and it's actually costing you more in time and money to do that than what they're worth. Do you guys have any questions for me so far?
Counselor, do you have any questions?
Joe?
Okay, I think you can proceed.
Okay. All right, thank you. So if we want to go to the next slide that says government buying power. This is just really kind of a proof of concept of what that would look like. So if we were to purchase this vehicle for you off the state contract price, we're going to factory order, we're going to get you the right tool without any extra options. You're going to pay a better price than anybody else, right? Everybody else is going to pay somewhere around MSRP, but you're going to pay this low price. And then what Enterprise is going to do is we're going to come back and we're going to recommend, like I said, the right time to sell that, and we're going to sell it for you. And in some instances, you might even break even after a couple years. I know that's hard to believe, but it is happening, and especially in this market right now with COVID, and there's actually a pickup truck shortage. Our customers are making more money off of their used vehicles than ever before. All right, so if we just want to go to the next slide, just to give you, this is just an example, not necessarily saying this is a vehicle that you guys are purchasing. So what that looks like is we would purchase the vehicle at this price. We would set it on a flexible financing. So this would be the monthly payment below that, the monthly rent and tax. This one we set up on 36 months for a 3-year term. At the end of that 3 years, the remaining balance or the principal balance on that vehicle would be right around $89.73. Is everybody with me so far on that? Because I can't see you.
Yes.
Okay. So then what we would do, considering this would be in rough condition, we would resell this vehicle for you right around this price, which would leave an estimated equity of $91.27, which is yours. So then what you would do is you would take that equity now, roll it into the new vehicle, and of course what that does, it lowers your next 3 years of payments by about approximately that much. So now you're even going to be spending less capital per year on these vehicles because we had the equity from the other vehicle. We would run it again for another approximate 36 months or 3 years. Your principal balance now at that time is going to be even less, $53.25. And again, we're going to sell this vehicle for you through our resale channel. And now you even have more equity at the end of that 6 years and able to roll into another vehicle or 2 vehicles or whatever it may be. Does anybody have questions on that for me?
Anybody have questions? Okay, no questions.
No.
Okay, thank you. So the last slide on this that I wanted to go over is really what makes us, different from a dealership and what you guys are currently doing. We have a local team of experts that's going to continue to work with Todd, with the staff on a quarterly basis to ensure that we're sticking to the recommendations and that we're keeping a proactive plan year over year that will continue to improve efficiencies, maintenance and fuel, and keep operating costs to a minimum for you guys. So Todd and his staff is going to have a go-to person here in Arizona to help him fleet plan for the next budget and the next budget and so on and so on. And we're going to continue to collect all that data for him to help you guys just make better fleet decisions in the future. So that was just a quick overview of what the partnership would look like going forward with us if you guys decide to do that. Next, I'd just like to take a look at the fleets analysis. This is the real, I guess you would say, meat of the program. This is, specifics on how this is going to improve the town of Superior's budget and operations and fleet over the next 10 years. Let me know when everybody has that fleet synopsis in front of them.
Council, do you have your fleet synopsis?
I have it.
Yeah, this is Bruce. I have.
Yep,
Okay.
we got it. Okay, great. So, I mean, some of you may know, some of you may not know, but the current fleet age is negatively really impacting the overall budget of fleet operations in the town of Superior, and this is typically what we see. 70% of your guys' light and medium duty fleet is currently 10 to 15 to 20 years old. The average age of the fleet is 12 years because you have a few newer vehicles, mainly police department vehicles, but the rest of them are 10 years and older. And if you were to stay on the current cycle that you're doing, which is replacing, 1 to 2, every other year, it would take you 20 years to replace your entire fleet. And we're going to be able to do and refresh this for you in 4 to 5 or less than what you're currently doing. So the objective is really to identify an effective vehicle life cycle to maximize potential equity, like I said, at the time of resale, and creating a conservative savings of over $190,000 in the next 10 years for the town of Superior. And we're simply going to do that by shortening the life cycle from a 20-year to a 3.5 years. We're going to provide lower sustainable fleet costs by doing this. We're going to replace older, unreliable vehicles with less capital with the flexible funding we have. And then significantly reduce maintenance by doing that. So monthly fixed and budgeted cost is approximately $47.21 versus what you're currently spending with right around $125 a month per vehicle per month. Of course, newer vehicles are going to increase the fuel efficiency, so you're going to see that cost go down as well. We're going to leverage an open-ended lease, like I said, just so you can maximize the amount of capital you have over many more vehicles instead of 1 or 2. A really big thing that is very important going forward is the employee safety that the newer vehicles will bring. I mean, 17 of your vehicles right now, 17 out of the 22 vehicles you have, predate anti-lock brake standardization, which was in 2007. In the entire public works and admin vehicles predate electronic stability control standardization. What that was, it's been deemed to be the most significant safety invention since the seatbelt. It's really what helps keep the vehicle on the road if you have to make a sudden movement or jerk or turn on the steering wheel. So all the 2 vehicles really predate the standardization of a backup camera as well. So the nice thing is we're going to bring a safer fleet to you guys, which has been very, very instrumental to a lot of our municipalities. We're going to be able to piggyback again on the Sourcewell awarded RFP that's already in place as you guys as a member. Do you have any other questions? What I just went over on that at all?
Council, any questions?
This is Councilmember Navarrete. So I just want to make sure I understand that our current fleet is 20. Is that correct? And the
20 to 22.
Okay. And the objective is to turn over our fleet into newer vehicles that we're going to be leasing from Enterprise Fleet. Like eventually when all of these get turned over, they're all under lease under Enterprise. Is that
Yes,
correct?
everything's set up, but that's correct. Eventually, I think it's in, like I said, I look at the analysis correctly, in approximately 5 years, approximately 5 years, all vehicles will be on an actual lease funding structure. Now keep in mind that's not your typical dealership lease. This is a equity finance lease, which means there's no mileage restrictions, there's no penalties for wear and tear. It's just considered to be a lease because we are not a dealership.
Any other questions?
That answer? What I'd like to do then is take a look at the actual fleet statistics and the fleet planning analysis that we put together for over the next 10 years. You know, the top is really just a fleet profile. Take a look at your fleet. It really gives us an idea of, you know, what your guys' average mileage is, because that's important when it comes to setting up leases on the full maintenance program. You know, like I said, it gives us an idea of the average age of your vehicles, and it helps us, you know, strategize about these 14 vehicles that are, you know, predominantly more than 10 years old. So our plan is we want to get rid of those first, because obviously they're either not running, or if they are running, they're breaking down, and if they are breaking down, they're costing you more in fuel and maintenance than what you guys need to be spending on that. So for the first year, this plan, we're going to keep it just kind of an even steady plan if we can. But keep in mind, I mean, based on the needs of the town, of the police department, of the fire department, of the public works department, it may vary from year to year. It may go up. We may need to replace 6 one year and maybe only 2 the next. Like I said, this is really just a recommendation. It doesn't mean this is set in stone and this is the way it's going to play out. We all know that things change, things are unpredictable, and they always will be, and it will be that way too going forward. So just keep that in mind. This is a recommendation, and we're going to try to stick as closely as possible as we can to it for the budget part of it anyway, for sure. So basically, what this shows is, you know, currently, like I said, you're replacing 1 vehicle a year. You're laying out approximately, you know, $31.79 or $7.39 in capital for 1 vehicle purchase. That's what this gold bar is representing, what you guys are currently doing. And based on the maintenance expenses I was given, and, you know, the approximate miles per gallon average, so that's an average on these vehicles. Some are newer and some are much older. You know, you're spending approximately $30,000 a year in maintenance and $35,500 on fuel. So when we add those 2 numbers together, we look at the budget as being right around between capital and operating $97,239. But by using our, you know, your buying power and our resale channel and our other solutions for maintenance, we can steadily replace 4 vehicles a year for you guys. We can do it with the first 4 vehicles costing 23. We're going to keep it around a budget of 23 to 25 that first year for leases. We're going to get rid of those old 4 vehicles, and then at our resale channel, we're going to turn around and resell some of those vehicles in the first year, if it makes sense. But then, of course, your maintenance will go down, your fuel spend will go down. The new proposed maintenance going forward on these vehicles, like I said, is $47 a month versus the $125. So overall, you're going to see an average savings of around $32,000 the first year. I mean, now I can keep going down year over year on each line, but basically what this is just saying is that if we continue to keep running newer vehicles, replacing the older vehicles, you know, your maintenance spend is going to be a minimum of right around $11,331 a year in years 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Your fuel economy is going to be the best it's going to ever be, because each year they're going to make a new fuel efficient vehicle when you get one. And then just based on the lease alone, you'll have a lease amount payment, but based on the fact that we're going to resell some of those vehicles at the right time, So you can capitalize on thousands of dollars in equity, and that's what that equity lease is. That comes from us selling those vehicles and returning it back to you for your fleet budget. So I know there's a lot of numbers here, and like I said, I can't see you, so what questions, or is there anything you want me to explain in a little bit more detail on these two?
This is Councilmember Navarrete again. In regards to our police department fleet, when we turn over those vehicles for new police cars or whatever, those come fully equipped, or will the town have to put money into them to make sure they have the proper equipment?
Good question. Frank and I have been working on that. They will come fully equipped for you, equipped and ready to go.
Okay. And then I have a question for Mr. Pryor.
Go ahead.
By chance, have you had the opportunity to talk to any other communities that are utilizing this program and how they feel that it's going for them?
I have not. I should have, but I've been a little crazy busy, so I did not do that.
Okay, thank you.
I believe Frank did make some reach out and make some calls though. I don't know if he's still on the
Chief.
or still in there.
Chief is coming up to the podium right now, so he does have a little bit of an update to give.
Yeah, so I reached out to Globe PD, and they just took possession of the vehicles, so in about another month or so, I'll get an update from that. Chief Walsh from Florence Police Department also signed on to this program right before we started discussions. And they've yet to receive a vehicle to my knowledge, but they're very happy with the whole process, according to Chief Walsh. So that's what I got. So then that's Florence and that's Globe.
Did you guys hear that?
Florence and Globe are happy with their situations with Enterprise?
Yes, Florence, they haven't received their vehicles yet, but they're very pleased with the process that they went through. I think Globe's a month out from actually getting their vehicles, right? Chief?
No, Globe,
Globe.
to my knowledge, Globe already received them.
Oh, Globe did.
And I talked to the chief. Both chiefs are very happy with everything, the whole process so far. I still need to do some more follow-up, of course, but the initial assessment is everybody's really happy and they're looking forward to this process coming to fruition.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from council? Comments? Mr. Pryor, do you have anything else to add?
This is, it's going to help us with the balloon that's coming. We bought a lot of those cop cars all at the same time. And if we're going to replace them all at the same time, we're talking about $270,000 worth of cop cars. So actually, putting them on a rotation, getting a standard spec, this is our opportunity to put our maintenance program on more regular routine renewal.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I have a question.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor to approve. Mr. Armitage, you have a question?
Yes, I do. Could Enterprise, or would they be willing to sell our existing used vehicles that we own?
Yeah, good question. Absolutely. We will be more than happy to, pick those up. We're currently doing that with the other municipalities we work with. We'll pick them up and, there is a fee to sell those vehicles. It's $395, so there would be a cost attributed to that. And I can't guarantee that we would be able to sell them at a profit for you, but we can certainly take it off your hands.
Okay, I'd like to second the motion.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor by Councilmember Estatico, a second by Councilmember Armitage. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Renee, thank you for all your help and good job to staff. I think this is going to be a nice way for us to manage our fleet. So thank you all. We're going to move on to our next agenda item tonight, which is agenda item B. Discussion, possible approval of the extension of COVID-19 emergency leave benefits and setting an end date for the benefit. Staff is requesting direction from the council on this matter. Discussion, the CARES Act mandated that we provide 10 days of emergency COVID leave for all employees. The mandate expired at the end of the year, but many government bodies have extended this until March, when all of our employees who are classified as 1A and 1B will have had ample opportunity to receive the vaccination. The council has the option to 1. Suspend the benefit immediately, extend the benefit until March 1st or some other date. Fiscal impact. The leave taken has, in all but a few cases, decreased productivity but not increased expense. We paid employees a regular paycheck but did not get the benefit of their labor. Actual increased costs have been limited. While the CARES Act did not directly provide funding to reimburse the cities and towns for this benefit, the council placed a significant amount of our CARES funding in reserve for just this sort of expense. This reserve is sufficient to cover the expense of this benefit to now and if the council chooses to extend it through March. So council, this is open for our conversation or an emotion. I tend to think we should just leave it through at least the end of March. And, you know, that's my recommendation.
I have a question.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bruce. My question is could an individual receive this 10 days of emergency COVID leave more than one time?
Yes, because they can end up in quarantine bubbles multiple times. I think we've had that happen a couple of times now. Am I correct, Mr. Pryor?
That is correct. There were some vaguenesses in the law, and one of the primary ones, for instance, is we weren't required to extend it to EMS. We did anyway, but EMS is actually exempted out of it. So there have been a few cases where people have been quarantined twice. It hasn't happened a huge amount, but it has happened. And again, really what happens with that is we have departments that shut down, and we don't get any work done out of it. And the difference would be police and fire. They have to cover those shifts when somebody goes. So their leaves have been the most expensive, but it's still not been a huge amount. I would estimate it at under $15,000.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor, I think I heard you making a comment or something.
Correct. So we've been offering the vaccines to our town employees for as long as it's been available to us here in town, which has probably been almost a month now. In going back and forth with the town manager regarding number of employees who have been vaccinated and whatnot, I think everyone's had the opportunity to take advantage of this benefit. So I'm thinking we should just suspend this and people use their regular sick time if they happen to go out on COVID leave. I think we've been more than flexible and have exhausted all of our benefits for this. And I know we say it doesn't really cost us much. We're paying them, but it is costing us because now we're paying all these temp contracts that we just approved. We're paying those guys to do the work of the public works, plus we're paying our public works guys to be out. So it is costing us somewhere. So, I mean, I'm all in favor for suspending this benefit immediately.
Is there any further question or comment from the council? Okay, does anybody want to make a motion?
I make a motion to suspend the benefit immediately.
There's a motion on the floor by Vice Mayor Alonso to suspend the benefit immediately. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Councilmember Estatico. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
And there are no Opposed? The motion carries unanimously. We're going to move on to agenda item C, discussion possible approval of extension of emergency declaration 2020-03 pertaining to the mask mandate. This is a council discussion. The discussion, leave the declaration in place for review by the council for extension, leave the declaration in place and allow the mayor and staff to determine an end date, and the declaration extension and allow the business community and individuals to decide for themselves if they choose to wear a mask. At the September 10th, 2020 meeting, there was a motion to review the extension at every town council meeting. On October 8th, 2020, new business item F, there was a motion to extend the mask mandate until November 12th, 2020. Town council meeting, at the November 12th, 2020 meeting, there was a motion to extend the mask mandate until January 14th, 2021, due to no meeting in December. At the January 14th, 2021 meeting, there was a motion to extend the mask mandate until February 11th, 2021. Council, looking for a motion on this to either extend it another month, extend it 2 months, or what's your pleasure at this time?
I have a question. Before we
Is this?
Do you know what the federal mandate is? Does that just apply to federal buildings?
The federal mandate right now is applying to anything regarding public, federal property. So if you're on a military base, technically federal lands, but I haven't heard that how the Forest Service is enforcing that. If you're in a federal building, federal courthouses, federal property, that type of, if you were at the Capitol, it does not necessarily break down to our local levels.
Okay.
I make a motion to extend it another month.
Okay, that's Vice Mayor Alonso. There's a motion on the floor to extend it by 1 more month. Is there a second?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
just, before we recommend this, or if we recommend this, the district, schools, have a mask mandate in place. That's per the governor's orders. That won't change. My recommendation would be, if we do pass this, that we notify our businesses once again to, that we do have a mask mandate in place, because obviously that they're not following the rules. So that's all I have.
So there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, a second by Councilmember Navarrete. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I oppose.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do a roll call. Councilmember Lopez?
Aye.
Councilmember Navarrete?
Yes.
Councilmember Armitage?
No.
Councilmember Estatico?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Alonso?
Yes.
And I am a yay, so the motion carries 5-1. And just so you know, we do remind the businesses on the calls, and we do send out emails and let people know, so we'll keep reminding them of this. Agenda item D, discussion possible approval of the Air Viper running COVID-19 mitigation plan for the Copper Corridor Trail run on February 27, 2021. Staff is recommending approval. This plan was prepared by Air Viper Running. It appears to comply with the governor's executive order. We will need to email ADHS and place it on our website. I'm checking the public line. Jamil, are you on the call? Are you or Noah on the call?
This is Noah Doherty. I'm on the call.
Okay. Hi there. So we do have someone on our public line, council, if you have any questions for them. But we do have a representative from Air Viper Running on the public line. And again, this is we were mandated by the governor to submit these plans, so council has to approve them before Mr. Pryor can send them off. If you have any questions at this time, they did submit a very thorough event plan.
is Jim.
I'd just like to make a comment.
All right, hold
And
on 1 second. I'm gonna let Mr. Shank speak first. Council, let me move the computer closer to the mic. Mr. Shank?
yes, I'd just like to recommend that the council approve this. Air Viper Running has demonstrated last year that it is responsible, and this is an event that is good for the town and good for the region.
Thank you, Mr. Shank. Mr. Armitage, you had a comment.
Yes, I just wanted to compliment them on the presentation that we received. I thought they did a very thorough job.
I'd also like to echo that. You know, we had our first year working with Air Viper Running, and I think they're a very professional group. They've handled the challenges of COVID very responsibly. I feel very comfortable that we're at this point to approve it. I know the chief has worked directly with them, along with Mr. Shank and other departments. I'd recommend to council that we approve this, because this is definitely an event where people stay outside and it is physically distant, and I think the crowd is definitely very much managed. Is there any questions or further questions or comments for Mr. Curry?
I have a comment. This isn't necessarily to Mr. Curry, to the council, but they did submit a nice, thorough plan. It's just, we started approving these events, and it's basically a green light for anyone who submits a good plan to us to have these events. We just canceled a home tour that had an emergency risk mitigation plan in place, and Apache Leap Days is scheduled to be, next month, and they pulled that off the table, but we're having this event a couple of weeks after we're supposed to have the home tour event. If we approve this, it's not setting a precedence for being social distance and whatnot, and being COVID cautious in our town by having an event like this and down on Main Street and blocking off the town and bringing a lot of people into town.
And thank you for that, Ms. Vice Mayor Alonso. Appreciate your perspective. Any other questions or comments from council?
This is Bruce. I make a motion to approve the Air Viper Running COVID-19 mitigation plan.
There's a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor by Councilmember Armitage. Second, was that Councilmember Lopez?
Yes.
Second by Councilmember Lopez. I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, we're going to do a roll call. Councilmember Lopez?
Yes.
Councilmember Navarrete?
Yes.
Councilmember Armitage?
Yes.
Councilmember Estatico?
No.
Vice Mayor Alonso?
Nay.
And I am a yay, so we have a 4-2 vote. Thank you very much, Mr. Curry. Staff will get this signed, and you can get that, we'll get that off to ADHS, so you can let the Tonto National Forest know. Our next discussion.
Thank you so much, everybody.
You're welcome. Our next discussion item, discussion possible approval of the Superior Little League COVID-19 safety and health practice effective February 8th, 2021. This is a town council decision. Council, as you are aware, the Little League has submitted their safety plan. I believe they're following what other leagues and sports organizations are doing. Mr. Pryor's worked pretty closely with them. They did expedite this because they are trying to put together our Little League season this year. And I know we've shared some sentiments on COVID and events and whatnot, but we do need to approve this so we can send this off to ADHS if we are going to approve the Little League season. Is there any questions or comments? Is there anyone on the line from Little League? I don't think there's anyone on the public line from Little League, but do we have any questions or comments from council or discussion?
I'd just like to make a comment that as far as the percentage of young people getting COVID-19 below 20, it's almost zero. I really don't see a problem in letting our Little League play this year. Matter of fact, I encourage it. Let's put a bright star on this town and let the Little League do its thing.
Okay, do we have any other further questions or comments? I'm gonna call.
Motion to approve the Little League COVID health and safety plan.
Is that you, Vice Mayor Alonso?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay. Do I have a
I'll
second?
second that.
Second by Councilmember Navarrete. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. At this time, I'm going to go to call to the public. Do we have anyone who signed in for call to the public? Is there anyone on the public line wishing to address the council? Going once? Going twice? Anybody? Okay, there's no call to the public. We do not have any executive session items at this time. So we're going to go on to summary of current events. And I'm going to start with Councilmember Lopez.
I really don't have any comments, thank you.
Councilmember Navarrete.
I don't either, thank you.
Councilmember Armitage.
Congratulations to the Silver King Smokehouse on their opening.
Councilmember Estatico.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the Cobra Valley Regional Medical Center for providing COVID shots for the town and the district. The school district has over 95% of its employees receiving their shots, and I'm getting mine tomorrow, so my second shot. So thank you, guys.
Yes, we really appreciate their efforts. Vice Mayor Alonso.
No comment.
All right, and well, I just want to thank council and staff for their hard work again this month. Had a lot of activities going on and lots of projects moving forward. So thank you all for your time and efforts. Mr. Pryor, do you have anything new on summary for current events?
I just wanted to make sure the council knew that our annexation is official as of today, and that we are now officially 11 and a half square miles, or a little over 11 square miles.
Cool. Yeah.
Great.
That project is complete.
So are we going to move the sign that says here?
Yes, I believe they'll all have to be moved, and then we will be discussing some ways to memorialize this big accomplishment that we've made. So that staff is working on that.
That is awesome.
Yes, so congratulations. It's been a long, hard road, and there's lots of people in our community who have worked on that. So it's official, and I can't wait till we can all celebrate this in person at some point in time in the very near future. Scheduling of meetings and events. All meetings are held at Town Hall. Emergency Services Committee, 2/18/2021. Community Development Committee, 2/25/2021. Planning and Zoning Committee, 3/4/2021. And our next Town Council meeting is 3/11/2021. And all the meetings are at 6 p.m. with the exception of Town Council, which is at 7. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Oh, okay, I heard Councilmember Estatico as a motion. Do I have a second?
Lopez, second.
Councilmember Lopez, second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And let the record show the meeting has been adjourned at 7:57. Thank you, council, and we'll talk. See you around.
Goodbye.